So what is Phuket? Is it this crazy, dangerous, overpriced tourist trap that every single clown with a camera and a TikTok account are trying to tell you? Has it been overrun by Russians to the point that it has lost its soul? It's no longer true, authentic Thailand. Is it truly the last place on earth that you would ever want to visit? Or is it, as I have been saying all along, why, hello there, guys, and welcome back to That Was Today in Thailand with me, your crazy, kooky host. Yes, it is Phuket's #1 cheerleader, Dr. Mark Sabian, coming at you live today from Go Lounge Beach Bar here on Bang Tao Beach. Guys, I gotta tell you something. I don't even go on YouTube anymore searching anything about Thailand unless it is recommended to me because it's from a vlogger, a YouTuber that I faithfully watch. And just last week, my favorite YouTuber did a video about Phuket. So this is actually, it's not a response video. It's not a rebuttal video. It's just my own personal take on his video, which I loved, by the way. And I will put a link in the description below so you guys can kind of compare my video with his. Again, this is in no way attacking him for the video that he did. I fully agree and appreciate with every single thing that he mentioned, he showed, and he talked about in that video. However, as someone who does live here on Phuket, I do want to give you my own personal opinion and share with you my thoughts, my feelings on what Phuket actually honestly is to me and what it could be to you. Because Phuket, honestly, guys, is something different to everyone. And I'm going to show you I'm going to explain that to you the best way I possibly can. So come with me. I want to show you around my beautiful little slice of paradise. And today I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. You guys know that's not me. I tell it the way it is. Like it, hate it, love it, despise it. If there's one thing I am, it's open and honest about everything, guys. And I want to give you guys my own personal take on what it's like living here on Phuket today. Not yesterday, not what it's going to be like 5, 10 years down the road, because nobody knows what it's going to be like then. But I definitely know what it's like today and possibly tomorrow. Anyways, guys, let's go. I've got 4 different things I want to talk about in this video, and maybe I'll change your mind, maybe I won't, but this is how Phuket honestly, truly is. Now, one of the biggest complaints that everybody has about Phuket is the traffic situation here. And I'm going to straight up tell you the traffic is a nightmare, especially during high season. However, if you are here during low season or not peak tourist numbers where everything is insane, it's honestly not that bad. And if you get outside of Patong, it's exponentially better. Listen, there's no question at all that the traffic here has been a problem and it's always going to be a problem. The streets are very narrow. It is dangerous driving here for a multitude of reasons, okay? So let me just straight up say this much, okay? If you cannot drive a motorbike, if you have no experience driving a motorbike or a scooter, please don't come to Phuket and rent a motorbike. You are one of the people who are causing all kinds of accidents. And let me tell you something. There is 26,000 people injured on the roads here on Phuket every single year. And on average, 150 fatalities, okay? Those are crazy numbers that could be avoided if the local government, if the rental shops all got together and decided that, listen, we're not going to rent motorbikes to people who do not have a license. We're not going to rent motorbikes to people who have no experience. Phuket is not the place to be coming to learn how to ride a motorbike, guys, okay? Please don't do that. Also, the amount of drinking and driving that goes on down here, I'm not sure what it is, but people, for some strange reason, when they go on holiday, all common sense goes out the window, especially here in Thailand. I've joked about it many, many times before that there's something at the airport. I'm not sure if it's insecurity or when you're going through immigration that just sucks the intelligence, the common sense out of men, especially. I'm seeing it with a lot of women down here too, guys. Listen, if you can't ride a bike, this is not the place to try and teach yourself how to learn how to drive one, okay? Now, I'm not sugarcoating this video, so I'm going to flat out, I'm going to name some names and point out some people, okay? We have a massive problem with French Moroccans here that are ripping up and down the roads all the time on these great big huge 750 1000cc bikes. For the most part, they're not wearing helmets, they're riding around shirtless, and you see the same people all of the time. And I hate to say it, but it's mostly French Moroccans, it's Muslims from France. They are ripping up and down the roads all of the time, driving like absolute idiots. They're creating accidents. They're causing people to wipe out. It is beyond belief. And yes, the cops are trying to crack down on it. They're stopping them with the loud bikes, anything that's been modified, because that's what these guys typically are driving. These great, big, huge, powerful bikes. I've had experiences myself where me and my friend were driving down Nanai Road and we got bumped and hit into an oncoming car. Thankfully, we hit the side of the car, not head on, because had we have hit the car head on, we probably would have died. And I got so upset, I chased the guy down and I'm screaming at him. And had he have got off the bike, I'd probably be in a Thai prison right now. I was that upset. So yes, traffic here is absolutely insane. So please, guys, if you don't have experience, if you can't ride a bike, if you're one of these guys that has to go and get tipsy and jump onto something, don't do it. We have all kinds of public transportation. We have the smart bus. We have these tuk-tuks everywhere, guys, where you can get a tuk-tuk that'll take you anywhere on the island. We have buses that will take you, 50-baht buses that will take you from Patong to Karon to Phuket town, all over. We have grab cars, we have Bolt cars, we have InDrive app, we have motorcycle taxis. Yes, taxis here on Phuket are expensive, but everybody knows that taxis here are expensive, okay? I'm going to promise you this much. It's not as expensive as going to the hospital if you have a serious accident here, or heaven forbid you kill someone because you don't know how to fucking drive, okay? So yes, traffic is a major problem here. No question at all. But again, it's not so much the local people. Yes, you'll find a lot of local people that are drinking and driving. They're driving on the wrong side of the road and stuff. But for the most part, they're not the ones that are causing the accidents. They're the ones that are getting killed a lot of the time, along with us Farangs. But for the most part, it's Farangs, it's foreigners, it's tourists, it's expats coming here, driving bikes that they should never be driving because they're not qualified to drive. Driving bikes that are way too powerful, drinking and driving, stuff like this. So guys, yes, the traffic here is a major problem, but in all honesty, it shouldn't be, with the exception of during high season and peak tourist times, okay? Now, kind of a subsection of that are the tourists and the expats and their behavior. Listen, at the end of the day, people come to Phuket and they treat it like their own personal private playground. A lot of people act like absolute idiots when they get here. Again, I don't know if it's because the common sense gets sucked out of them at the airport, or maybe they're just complete total all of the time. I'm not sure what it is. And I'm going to flat out say this again, no sugarcoating in this video. Yes, we have a lot of Russians, and yes, there are a lot of problems with the Russians that are here on Phuket. However, please keep this in mind, guys. If you are subjected to Western TikTok, Western social media, etc., programming, all you're going to see are Russians acting bad. If you're a Russian here and your social media feeds are Russian based, all you're going to find are Westerners, Americans, Canadians even acting like absolute assholes. Okay? I've been here 4 years and I can honestly say I have not had a problem with a Russian, and I've never met anybody who has actually had an honest problem with a Russian. Yes, there's all kinds of examples, again, on social media of them acting like complete and total idiots, like this guy right here. Those cops are trying to take that guy down, and he is so big and he's probably hopped up on steroids or something. Is that because he's Russian he's acting that way, or is it because of the steroids? Honestly, I don't know, but this stuff happens all of the time. But please understand, again, it all goes to the algorithm that you're being fed. If you're an American, you're going to see Russians acting badly. If you're a Russian, you're going to see other nationalities acting like idiots. Here we have people who dine and dash like these clowns. And yes, again, because I'm getting that feed as a North American, it's all about the Russians. But there's all kinds of examples of Americans and Canadians and Europeans and Australians dining and dashing here, okay? It's just the way it is. Sadly enough, I don't know what it is, but people that come here act like idiots. I can tell you this much. I've personally had more trouble with North Americans and Australians than I ever have with Russians. Please don't think that I'm a Russian bot. Don't think that I'm, Kremlin commie, guys. I definitely am not. I'm just telling you the way it is. Have the Russians changed Phuket? I honestly, I don't know 100%. Yes, they've changed the dynamic of the property values here and what's going on with the development, et cetera, but that's only because they have money and they're investing in Phuket because financially it makes perfect sense to invest in Phuket. Yes, Phuket is going to change. That's just a fact of life, guys, okay? Any place where you have a lot of tourists coming, you have a lot of people with money, it's going to change. Wouldn't it be nice if this was just like it was 20, 30 years ago? It's not. And it's never going to go back to that. However, there are places here that you can go, like Koh Lanta and spots like that, a couple 100 kilometers away, that they are what Phuket was 20 and 30, 40 years ago. Hopefully those places don't change. But that's just progress, guys. That's capitalism. That's growth. That's the way shit works. I hate to say it. It really is. I can say this much. I've met lots of people that sit here and go, oh, the Russians this, the Russians that, who have never had an interaction with a Russian at all. I can tell you this much. Of the Russians that I know that I talk to, not one of them has ever said to me, oh, the Americans this, or the Canadians that. They don't. For the most part, they're very... They seem to stick to their own kind. And I know that, last year people were talking about how Karen and Kata was like the little Kremlin, the little Moscow. Now it's everywhere. You come to Bangtao and it seems that the more affluent Russians live here, whereas the less well-off, the middle-class Russians are living over in Kata and Karen and stuff. So you will have interactions with them. You will see them. You will bump into them. You will have to get along with them if you're here living full-time. It's just a fact of living here, guys. It truly, honestly is. Does it make Phuket a shitty place to live? Honestly, I don't think so. And if you ask guys like me who have lived here for a long time, no. If you ask guys who are just miserable all the time, of course it does. But those are the guys that they wouldn't be happy regardless. They honestly wouldn't be, okay? Is Phuket crazy expensive and only for the elites now? No, it's not, guys. I'm going to tell you something. This narrative about how Phuket is this overpriced, crazy expensive island, that's just simply not true. I'm not sure why people are pushing this all of the time on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It just makes no sense to me at all. I hate to say it. Guys, listen. Yes, accommodations have gone up a little bit. But fully understand this, the prices of accommodations here are not what they were pre-pandemic levels, okay? I have made hundreds of videos. I could make videos all day long about the cheap accommodations here. Guys, look behind me. These spots right here that I'm showing you right now are all condos that are available here on Phuket for less than $300 a month. You will find some spots here that are crazy expensive. However, what these guys are trying to do is they're trying to essentially prey on people that are watching videos from other YouTubers that are not telling you the truth about how much shit really costs here. I'm going to tell you something. It's not as expensive as everybody claims. Guys, my unit is less than 200 US dollars a month, and I absolutely love it. Could I spend more? Of course I could. I could spend 250,000 baht a month on a spot. I'm not going to, and you don't have to either. Food prices. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. These places that I show you, the places to go for Krapow, Don's Barbecue, all of these, they haven't changed the price in 4 years. I know that's crazy. It's hard to believe because everybody knows that egg prices are through the roof everywhere in the world. Not here in Thailand, guys. It hasn't gone up. What I used to buy for 50 baht is still 50 baht. There are some restaurants, like my favorite pizza place, that has gone up a little bit in price, but that's because they've done capital improvements to their business. They've remodeled, they've done this, they've done that. And it's only gone up by like 10%. It's not exploding where, you have to spend hundreds of dollars a day to eat. You can if you want to. You can go to some really crazy upscale restaurants here, like these steak houses and stuff. I'm not going to them. And to be honest with you, most expats that live here are not going to them. Yes, some people who come here on vacation or guys that get suckered by some girl trying to impress her, they'll go to one of these Al Gaucho or Wagyu steak houses and spend tens of thousands of baht. That's not everybody, and you don't have to do it. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Food prices at restaurants, they have not gone up crazy. Yes, you will find some spots, as I've mentioned many, many times in other videos, that will try to take advantage of you because you're a foreigner and they're going to upcharge you. But if you're going to spots where I've been going for the past 4 years, the prices have not changed. They haven't changed at all. You might see a small increase of maybe 5 baht on something, but guys, that's less than 10%. There are still hundreds of restaurants that you can go to in Patong alone. Forget about the rest of the island, just in Patong alone, where you can have an incredible meal for less than 100 baht. You can have a full meal with drinks and dessert for less than 200 baht. Guys, that's between $3 and $6, okay? Rotten Ronnie's costs exactly the same today that it did 4 years ago, okay? Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, all of these places cost exactly the same that they did 4 years ago. So please don't believe this narrative that prices here have skyrocketed or anything like that. They honestly haven't. Yes, there are some places that are going to try and take advantage of you, take advantage of the situation, but for the most part, the cost of eating here has not changed at all in the past 4 years. It really hasn't Please, let's stop that narrative, guys. Going into 7-Eleven, beers are still the exact same price that they were 4 years ago. Quite honestly, the only thing that I've noticed, and this is crazy, Pringles. Pringles went up about 20%. I'm not sure why, but they did. Beer went up maybe 1 or 2 baht, and there's still all kinds of places like Andaman Bangtao Bay Resort, which is just right down here, walk down the shoreline. You can still get 50 baht beachside beers at that bar and restaurant. And that's the same price that it was 4 years ago. Guys, there's all kinds of little tiny beach bars on Patong Beach. Patong Beach, the most famous beach, the most overpriced beach in all of Phuket, where you can still get 60 baht beers, okay? Here at Golang, it's always been 80 baht for a beer, and it will always be 80 baht for a beer here. That's just the way it is, guys. I'm telling you, this bullshit narrative, it's not true. Yes, again, accommodations have gone up during peak season, but those come down. So what people like me do, guys, I love going to Ao Nang, and the resort that I stay at over there is the Ban Suan Resort. I'm not going there right now because it's almost double how much I'm used to paying. But guess what? 2 weeks from now, it goes back down to like 600 or 700 baht a night, and I'll be going over. If you're coming here for a 2-week vacation, you really don't about how much accommodations are, because they are still so cheap compared to every other place in the world, especially a tropical island paradise like Phuket, that nobody notices. Nobody talks about this unless some clown is going on YouTube or Instagram and TikTok talking about how crazy expensive Phuket is. It's not, guys. Thailand's happiest hobo, and believe me, I live a pretty basic yet absolutely amazing life. I'm not leaving because of the prices. And if anybody was going to, it would be a guy who tries to show people that you can live in Thailand on $1,000 a month. I haven't left because I don't have to, because I can still live an amazing life here on $1,000 a month. So that whole narrative that Phuket is crazy, overpriced, it's absolute. And that brings me to this. Is Phuket, is it just a tourist trap? Is it a sex tourism destination? Is it a cesspool? Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Phuket is what you make it, okay? I don't know how else to put that. I know tons of guys that I've talked to, that I've met because of the channel, who have been to Phuket 20 or 30 times. They come to Phuket 3, 4, 5 times a year, and they've never been outside of Bangla or the surrounding sois. And for them, Phuket's a shithole to them. It is nothing but bar girls and bars and booze and this and that, because that's all they're seeing. That's the only thing that they're coming here for. They're not going on motorcycle adventures. They're not going around the island and seeing all these amazing places like I try to show you. They're not coming to bars like this. They're instead going to spots along the beach where it's 1,000 baht to sit in a frickin' bean chair. They're going to these clubs, these beach clubs. They're not coming to spots like this, Golang Beach Bar, which is actual, real, honest Thailand. They're not getting off the island and going to the islands like Koh Lanta. They're not going and seeing all of the amazing spots. They're sitting there doing nothing but, well, what you would expect them to do on Bangla Road. And that's a sad reality, guys. So is Phuket losing its soul because of tourism and all that? No, Phuket lost its soul because of YouTube and people that were showing stuff that was going on here, and these guys that film stuff that, quite honestly, they should not be filming at all. They shouldn't be showing. It's not a soulless place. This is a beautiful place. Again, this is my little slice of paradise, guys, and I love everything about it. Does it have its flaws? Yes, it does. The traffic is crazy. The scams and stuff that go on down here are pretty foolish. The taxi prices are triple what every other place in Thailand is. Price-wise, again, I don't see it. I don't see what everyone's talking about. And is it a soulless? No, it's not. It's beautiful. It is what you make it, guys. Okay. Again, if all you're going to do is come here and sit on Bangla Road in the go-go bars, that's all it's ever going to be to you. It's never going to be anything else. And that's a shame because Phuket has so much to offer. There's incredible places here, the elephant sanctuaries, not the ones where you can ride the elephants, but the ones where you go and you learn the ethical treatment of the elephants. There's the Soy Dog Foundation here just in Bang Tao, or sorry, Mai Khao, where you can go and spend the day volunteering, playing with the dogs, learning about, how they've combated the dog meat trade here. There's so many beautiful places, Monkey Hill, Pitbull Cafe. God, I could go on and on and on. But if all you do is come to Phuket and hang out on Bangla Road and you go back home and the only thing you talk about are bars, bar girls, and this, that's all Phuket's ever going to be to anyone. And that's a damn shame because again, this is paradise personified, guys. I absolutely love it here. I hope this changes your mind about Phuket. And don't cross it off your list, guys. I promise you, you will love this island every bit as much as I do if you get out and you experience it the same way that I do. Don't come here and just spend every single minute on Bangalore Road because if you do, you may as well just go to a brothel or some red light district in another place because you're missing everything that Phuket is. Till next time, guys, that's it. I'm living my best life. And I just want you guys to know that if you come to Phuket, you can live the same life that I do. You can. You don't have to live like a hobo like I do. You can ball out and have a fantastic time, guys. But it's not dead. It's not soulless. It's not an overpriced tourist trap. It truly is paradise. So next time, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something from this. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me. And till next time, cheers. Phuket is changing and evolving all of the time. Sometimes it's for the good, sometimes it's for the bad. I know that a lot of people are talking about how there's this gentrification of Phuket. And sadly enough, that is true. There's no better example of that than this bar right here, the Go Lounge Beach Bar, which anybody who's watched the channel long enough knows that this is my go-to spot here in Bang Tao. And this will be gone soon. Sad enough, they're doing developments in behind it, and I've been talking to the owner, and sad enough, eventually he is going to have to close because the great big resorts that are being built behind it, they will be taking over and putting in the 1,000 baht beanbag beachfront bullshit. And that's a shame because this is, man, this is like I'm losing a little piece of my family. And this has happened on Patong Beach. As you guys know, I did the video about losing my other beach bar. And it just, sadly enough, guys, progress is progress and it's going to happen. It's not always great. It's not always fun. It's not always what we really want, but it's reality. And does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. But the way to stop that is for when you come to Phuket, come to places like this. I'm going to do a video about this bar today and show you how beautiful it is, how amazing it is. Hopefully you guys will watch that video coming up. Um, yeah, it's Phuket is losing its soul. I hate to say it, a little bit day by day by day, but if if you guys are more like me and less like the tourists and stuff that are coming here, Phuket doesn't have to die. It can still thrive. It can survive and thrive, guys. I'm telling you. Um, please, if you're on Bangtao Beach, come to Golang Beach. They only have Chang. It is what it is.